Hi everyone. We're going to take a few minutes and I'm going to help you put your portfolio project together by walking you through every single step of the way. We're going to switch over to my computer so I can show you my screen and I'll walk you through it. And always, if you have questions, don't be afraid to let me know. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is just pull up a blank Word document. You can see I don't have any formatting done. Except for what comes pre-formatted in a Word document, which is typically your margins. We're going to start with a blank Word document. I've got my other documents pulled up in the background, and we're going to go from there. And then just to create your header, so I'm going to use our sample student for this. And just create my MLA header like I would, I have to learn how to spell, for any document. Oops. And the date, which will be depending on your class. I'm just going to put November 10th just for the sake of sample here. Okay. And then we'll have a title, which will be Final Career Portfolio. Okay, and then, remember everything gets double spaced, so unless I tell you otherwise. So I'm going to make sure that both of these spacing items say 0. Don't add a space. Change the line spacing to double. And then you can see everything's double spaced. Title is the only thing that gets centered. And I'm going to go ahead and do my document header. Remember, that's the only thing that goes up here is your last name and page number. So the first thing to do is wherever you have it on your version of Word to actually insert a page number in the upper right hand corner. If you just type a 1 in there, it's going to repeat on every page, but if you insert the page number, it will number your pages for you. And then put your last name in there. And that's all that goes up there. And then that will repeat. That's the, because it'll repeat on every page. And then it'll number your pages for you. So, all right, our document's ready to go. It's double spaced. Please, 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 after the title, please remember to go back and left align your the body text of your document. The only thing that ever gets centered is the title. So, yeah, you've created your documents, primary artifact 1 in a document. You've got that saved in a document by itself, primary artifact number 2, etc. So if you go back and look at the list of requirements, the order that these go in, the first one that goes in is your reflection document. So let's say this is my reflection document that I've got saved. I'm going to, you see this part right here, that's what I'm calling a section header. So you need to insert your section header, which is you just type the name of this document in, which is the reflection document, and then bold it. Highlight it, bold it. Okay, you're done with that. Go down to and just enter down to the next line and make sure that it's not bolded anymore. So remove the bolding. And then all you're going to do is copy, highlight all of this from your old document and copy it and paste it. And then see how it changed my the first line of my paragraph. So you just, after you copy and paste it, after you paste it into the new document, you just have to check and make sure that your formatting, all of your formatting things stayed where they're supposed to. And you fix any of the little quirky things like that with my paragraph indent, and go down to the bottom of your document, make sure all of the information is there. Last thing for this document, it requires a word count, so make sure your word count is there. And then at the end of the word count, that's the end of your document. You're ready to move on to your next document. You need to insert a page break because you see how this doesn't go down to the bottom of the page. And if I just hit enter down to page 2, it's going to mess up when I go to save it. It's going to mess up the pagination, and then you're going to get part of it on one page and part of it on another. It's going to be a big mess. So wherever you have to find it, wherever it is, but you're just going to, it's what's called insert a page break. And depending on your version of Word, it's going to be in a little bit different place. So, but it's there. So now we're moving on to our next document, which is primary artifact number 1. So we're going to do our section header. And that's our narrative project. Hit enter. I'm going to go back to my other document where, wherever you have it saved, and you're going to highlight, just do the same thing. Highlight, copy, and paste. So I'm going to copy that and paste it into the new document. Double check the alignment. That gets bolded. Make sure it's double spaced like it's supposed to be. And then I've got my word count. All right, so I'm done with primary artifact number 1. Again, you're going to insert a page break. And our next artifact is primary artifact number 2, which is our informative research project. Hit enter, and then you're going to go get that from whatever file you have your final draft saved in. You're going to go get, I'm just using my sample portfolio for mine, but wherever you have it saved, you've done all your work, your revisions and everything, you're ready to do it. You're going to copy and paste all of it. Now, primary artifact number 2 in particular, you probably got some citations that you're going to bring with it. I'm going to recommend that you copy all of it, the works cited page and the text, and I'll show you in just a second how to work with that. I'm going to go ahead and paste mine in there. So there's my essay, and let's say I'm going to go back to this one because my works cited page is all the way down here at the bottom. So let's say this was attached to your essay. You're going to include that. You're going to copy and paste that over. Okay, so you've got everything in there. Now, of course, you remember your works cited goes on its own page, so you need to insert a page break here anyway. So you're going to go ahead and insert a page break. You can see I've got, let's go back up here. So we've got the narrative document. I've got primary artifact number 1. I've got primary artifact number 2. I'm going to go back and check my formatting, make sure everything's indented and spaced the way it's supposed to be and everything. And I'm down here at the end. Here's my word count. And in a normal situation, your works cited page would just go after that document. But since the portfolio is a collection of all of your documents, you're going to have one works cited page for the entire portfolio. So the works cited page is going to be, no matter what citations for what document it has, it's going to be one works cited page for everything. So we're going to leave that there, but we're going to go back up to the end of artifact number 2 and insert another page break here so that you can see here's the end of primary artifact number 2. There's a blank page, and then there's my works cited page. Okay. So I'm up here on the blank page. After primary artifact number 2 comes primary artifact number 3. Between primary artifact number 2 and the works cited page. The works cited page is always going to stay at the end. So this is our persuasive project. Okay. And then I'm going to go get my primary artifact number 3, all of the pieces of that. So here it is. Here's the job ad. Here's the cover letter, and here's the resume. And this is the place where some of the formatting may get kind of messy, but you're just going to highlight it all, copy and paste it. And then we're going to go back up and check formatting. So you can see here when I pasted it over, my formatting got a little weird. So you just have to fix it. It's not really that big of a deal. You just go and adjust your margins, adjust the stuff so that it's all lined up. It all should be 1 inch margin. That was an easy fix. I'll just make sure this is bolded because that's my section header. Okay, and double check it's where you're supposed to be. So here's end of primary artifact number 2. Here's primary artifact number 3. Here's my job description. I'm going to take this out because that was for your sample. Here's my source. Remember, don't forget to include your source reference for your job ad. And we're done with that. You insert a page break. And then here's my cover letter with the masthead. I know, and I'm going to point this out because I know some of you are going to have questions. This gets messed up because my masthead, I created columns to make it line up the way I wanted it to, and for some reason that messes with with this page numbering excuse me, in the header. Don't worry about it. That's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm not even going to I won't count any points off of it. It messes that up for you. So all right, we're down to the end of our cover letter. Here's our resume. And you can see again here when I copied and pasted it over, this is supposed to be in columns and it messed up the alignment. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that. So you can see all of my stuff is lined up the way I want it to be. Here's the end of my resume and I've got an extra page there. So I'm going to take this out just to make sure that I am where I want to be. And I'm going to turn this, I don't know if you're aware that this will turn on your little paragraph. You can see where you've inserted stuff, like line breaks and things. And it took out my page break. So I'm going to go ahead and back this up a little bit and insert the page break just to make sure everything stays lined up where it's supposed to be. All right. And I need to take this extra space out. I'm going to come back here and center my title. And then, so I still have my secondary artifact to insert in here. So I've gotten everything else. I still have my secondary artifact to put in this document. Okay, so you can see we're at the end of primary artifact number 2, and our next step is to insert the secondary artifact. So I want to double check and make sure that my page break is there, and it looks like I accidentally have 2 of them. So I'm just going to delete all of that extra information. And remember, this little button up here is your show hide button, and it just shows you where you've inserted tabs or page line breaks or page breaks and that kind of thing. So you can turn that on and off. It doesn't matter because even if you print it or save it, it's not going to show up on the other end. It's just an internal marker. So I'm going to turn that off. And then, let's see, I forget. Okay, I've got a page break there. So I'm going to insert another page break to make sure my works cited page stays where it's supposed to. And then go up here and insert my section header, which is the secondary artifact. Secondary artifact. And I'm doing the interview. So you just make sure that you label it so that I know what secondary artifact you decided to do for your project. And then our project gets bolded, the section header gets bolded over here. And then I'm going to enter down and go back to my other where I have it stored, and I'm going to highlight, copy, do like I've done with all the other ones, and copy and paste it. And since I'm just using the sample portfolio that I created for you, this is pretty easy. So copy, paste it. And you can see here's another formatting issue is that when I pasted it, it's italicized everything for some reason. So you just have to go back again, double check and make sure all the formatting is correct. Now, if you've done a secondary artifact like the rhetorical analysis or the profile or something where you used citations, this is where you would add a citation onto, any additional citations onto your works cited page so they're all on one page. But for the interview, I don't have any extra citations, so I don't have to worry about that. And we're going to scroll down, insert a page break, and then here's your works cited page. And then again, double check and make sure everything is formatted correctly. You can see one of them is bolded and it looks like it switched fonts and sizes on me. So I'm just going to go and double check and make sure everything is formatted the way it's supposed to. And then the titles of the containers get italicized, and I accidentally took those out. So I'm going to fix that. And then the thing to remember with the works cited page, this is the works cited page for the entire portfolio. So if you have other citations besides just your secondary, or besides just primary artifact number 2, you would add them onto this works cited page. And then the works cited page, remember, everything gets alphabetized by the first word in the citation. So don't number them. You're not going to separate them based on what artifact they came from. You're just going to incorporate it all into one works cited page. So if I had an additional, let's say, my secondary artifact, I'm going to list this person that I interviewed as a source. Say that was, I had an in-text citation for that. I need to make sure I have the works cited citation for her. So I would add that on wherever it go, insert it, and then do the hanging indent, double spacing, and all of the rest of the formatting things, and make sure it's alphabetized so that the works cited page is for the entire document. So as you can see, we now have all 5 artifacts in one big document, each one of them separated by a page break. I recommend you scroll through the entire document and make sure that all of your formatting is where it's supposed to be. You have section headers, bolded section headers in between the documents so that when I go to read it, I can find each of the individual documents or artifacts. I hope this tutorial helped you, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll be happy to help you and answer any questions to help you get your portfolio finished and submitted. Don't forget, it has to be a Word or PDF document that you submit to Blackboard. I look forward to reading your portfolio, and I'm wishing all of you good luck.